if you have your health. How many times have we all heard that? But it's true. If you don't have your health, life is very difficult. Well, we know of a woman who fought hard against her health problems, hard enough to bring a very special baby into this world. Here's Janet Tamero.
Going to the delivery room now. You're going to have your baby soon.
Low.
You're having your baby soon.
I heard my sister, Betsy, the one who never gives up, saying, oh, I know the odds are against me, but when did that ever stop me? I'm going to do it.
Elizabeth McEwen, Betsy to her family, grew up in Piedmont, California.
She was our third child and very knew her own mind all the way along. She wanted a car in high school, and we weren't quite sure she needed a car, so she went out and saved the money and bought it.
That independence and a wry sense of humor would eventually keep Elizabeth positive when everything in her future looked bleak.
She put a dent in her car, and I'd been driving it a little bit, and I was afraid I had put it in. And we talked about it, and she said, no, I just misjudged something.
But it wasn't clumsiness 18-year-old Elizabeth was suffering from.
This hit her, this blindness in one eye, and then it went away, and then it came in the other eye, and her hands were... It was a very mysterious series of things that happened one after the other and then went away.
Elizabeth had multiple sclerosis, a disease that attacks the central nervous system.
Right from the beginning, it was tough because you don't know. And the very capriciousness of this disease is one of the hardest things. You know, if you have other illnesses, you might know, well, I have 5 years to live. I'm going to do this. I'm going to travel while I'm healthy, and then you have no idea.
In spite of the disease, Elizabeth stayed in college.
We were very grateful, I think, early on, because by that, in the early days, she was in college and she was functioning.
But as she accepted her master's degree in 1981, her body was slowly beginning to fail.
She graduated magna cum laude, even though she couldn't see. My mother used to cry and say, I look at those big brown eyes, and I can't believe that they can't see me the way I see them.
But Elizabeth still pursued her dream to become a counselor for the disabled, a dream born of another family tragedy. Both her mother and her brother are deaf.
When she decided that she was going to be a counselor and help out people that were handicapped, she just made up her mind that was what she was going to do. And I thought, well, I would never discourage her from doing anything because she can do anything.
In 1982, Elizabeth moved to Berkeley, California, where there's a large disabled population. And even though her own health was failing, it was still her goal to help others like her.
It was here at the Center for Independent Living Elizabeth met a man.
Later, as she got really sick, we did just write it out of our history for her. Well, she'll certainly never marry and have a family.
But Elizabeth had never given up her dream to become a mother. And in January 1986, she told her family she was going to have a baby.
The father was a friend of hers who subsequently moved away. So it was a relationship that was important to her, but that had changed.
Elizabeth's doctor at Kaiser Hospital warned her there was a 50-50 chance the MS would get much worse if she had the baby.
Elizabeth, without a doubt, had the most severe form of the disease. I thought the chances were high that she would have deterioration of her disease.
What kind of solutions did you come up with?
Well, I think we would have favored an abortion, and that was seriously considered by us.
My family has already given up a lot. I mean, to see a child, your own child, go through this is a great loss. And to think that she would have to give up even more.
But Elizabeth wasn't giving up. She was already searching for parents for her unborn baby. Through friends, she met Sandy and Ross Bellingham.
We sort of knew as soon as we said hello, and it was just like, this is an incredible moment because of what we're about to do. And having been through all the infertility issues that my husband and I have been through means that we really wanted a child.
On July 31st, 1986, Elizabeth gave birth to a healthy baby boy.
I can't imagine that we could have even given birth to a child we would want more. I mean, he's right for us.
My first thought was, oh, what a beautiful baby. And they were both sad and happy.
The Bellinghams have brought Alex to see Elizabeth many times. Doctors will never know if it was the trauma of Alex's birth that caused Elizabeth's condition to deteriorate, but she now requires a full-time aide.
I have a real tough time to see her now because she has so much promise, but I always feel better when I do because she gives me so much.
I've never thought any individual would go through all that she did to go through, and yet want a child to be raised by another couple, and it's something I don't expect I will see ever in the future.
Maybe her biggest gift was the gift of life she gave to two families.
That's what I'd like most for him to understand about her, was the incredible courage that it took for her to give birth to him.
You've seen him. He's the most wonderful child that could have ever come out. So she was right.
Alexander will be 3 years old next month.